Okay guys, so in today's video I want to kind of highlight to you a conversation I just had with Google and one of my clients, because we often talk about the potential for performance max campaigns to basically cannibalize the performance of a search campaign. So just to rewind a little bit in case anyone doesn't understand, a performance max campaign is kind of a black box. It bids towards a goal that you set, but Google essentially serves your ads across all of its inventory. It can go on video, it can go on display, search, shopping, Gmail, the Android kind of sidebar for the discovery feed, all of this kind of area. This is where your campaign can show on Performance Max. Obviously, search campaigns show on Google Search directly, but because both of these campaign types are liable to show on the search results page, it means there's a potential for Performance Max to cannibalize the search campaign you've got running already. Now, Google thinks they can hear what we're saying as advertisers, and they acknowledge that potentially it could happen, but in actual fact, they set up an experiment system in Google Ads where you can test the incremental sales of Performance Max to kind of put your mind at ease. But the conventional wisdom says if you have one search results page, you have one account that can only show one ad to a user from that search results page, Google will choose whichever version of the ad has the higher ad rank, whether that's coming from your Performance Max campaign or from your search campaign. You can't serve two ads from the same account. So essentially, if there's only a finite number of searches for whatever you're promoting and Google has to choose between these two campaign types, conventional wisdom says if you took Performance Max out the question, the search campaign should capitalize on the impressions available to your account, as opposed to splitting them or Google choosing its preferential choices out of the two campaign types. So let's rewind a little bit. Say we've got a Performance Max campaign running and a search campaign running. You're running a search campaign, you're getting 100 leads a day for argument's sake. Then you turn on a Performance Max campaign and all of a sudden you're seeing you're getting incremental sales. That looks good. It looks positive. But then the question then becomes, okay, why wasn't I getting those sales on my search campaign? Now, of course, Performance Max goes across the entire network, so there will be incremental sales involved in that. You know, you can see you get sales from display, you can get sales from shopping, from video, from things that are not pure search. So that's something to consider. But when you look at this and you see, okay, I've got a search campaign obviously showing only search, I've got a PMax campaign showing across all network, but the majority of my sales are coming from search. So of course you've got all your sales coming from search. You can use a script to kind of find this out, which is what I did. So with all those sales coming from search, why wasn't I entitled to the sales coming from the PMax campaign in my main search campaign? So the argument goes, if your search campaign has a lower ad rank or is restricted by its bidding target, then of course you're not going to capitalize on the impressions available to you. It just so happened that this client had a impression share of about 25%, which means 75% of all eligible searches they were not showing for. So a big pool of searches and potential for them to show for. Then you look at the Performance Max campaign. The campaign spent freely without any issues. And of course, when you break down the performance of that campaign and you look at where those sales were coming from, they were all coming from search. There were some coming from display and video, but mostly from search. This campaign, the main search campaign, has great performance. It has basically 10 out of 10 quality scores for all keywords. The ad rank should be pretty high. The budget isn't a question. The campaign is currently underspending on its set budget. And of course, we all know Google likes to spend. So if there were more auctions to be had, it had the opportunity to do so. Now, of course, the CPA target set in that search campaign pulls things down a little bit, but ultimately the PMax campaign had the same target. So you've got two campaigns running. You've got a search campaign and a PMax campaign, both on the same CPA target, which in this case was £30. Now, you'd think actually that £30 target would restrict both campaigns, but it just looks like at the moment, only the search campaign is being restricted. The PMax campaign is scaling. Why? Why is the PMax campaign able to get more impressions and incremental impressions above and beyond the search campaign? So we did a test. We thought, okay, maybe the PMax campaign is indeed cannibalizing search and it just so happens that's happening. Let's take the CPA target of the Performance Max campaign and put it way down. So instead of having a £30 CPA target, we go for a £20 CPA target. That's massively going to cut the campaign. And it did. The campaign reduced. The CPA target was in line. It basically hit the CPA target. But of course, the obvious balance is you're going to lose volume as a result of hitting a better CPA, which is fine. We knew that was going to happen. But what we didn't see is that the search campaign made any gains. Now, it should make some gains because, again, Google looks at the account, which ads are eligible to show for this particular auction, and it chooses between the campaigns eligible in your account based on ad rank and chooses which campaign serves the ad to the user at the point of auction. Now, this time, Google had way less opportunity to pick the PMax campaign because of its lower ad rank by virtue of lowering that CPA target, meaning it couldn't bid as aggressively, meaning that the search campaign should be dominant. Now, remember, the search campaign is also massively over budget. It's not spending its budget. So it had a lot of latitude to spend in the areas that PMax was now missing because of the lower bid. It didn't get any more impressions. It didn't get any more clicks. It kind of stayed where it was. So this shows me in this particular use case, and of course now, one anecdote isn't data, but it's still interesting nonetheless. This one campaign, this one PMax campaign was getting incremental sales across everything. Of course, search is the main part of that, but display and of course video, they're parts of it as well, but of course the majority is search. So how does this campaign get incremental sales above the search campaign that was running already when most of those incremental sales from Performance Max were coming from search? The answer to me is simple. I actually put this question to the Google rep, and it's not just a Google rep, to be fair. This client is spending significant amounts on Google, and because they're spending significant amounts, it was a call with Google's HQ in the EU, in Ireland, in Dublin. Very good account manager. She's very friendly. I put the question to her. She wasn't quite sure either. She was basically saying it's based on ad rank and that the ad rank of the Performance Max campaign seems to be consistently better than the search campaign. I'd buy that excuse if we saw a small increment on the search campaign when we turned the PMax campaign down. Even if it wasn't a full kind of, 1-to-1 ratio, if we spent £1,000 on Performance Max and then got 100 leads, and then that 100 leads doesn't pass over to search directly, if it only incremented maybe 10 leads, I would buy that because at least there'll be some kind of increase on the search side to some degree. The problem is search didn't move in any case. This to me can only mean one thing in this scenario. For whatever reason, Google was preferring Performance Max to search. So now I'm in a situation where I've seen both sides of the coin. I've seen literally campaigns where search is cannibalized by PMax, and it just basically means that you're kind of not seeing any incremental sales. You're just spending on Performance Max as well as search to generate the same number of leads across both campaign types. In this scenario, which is the first time I've seen it, it was providing genuine incremental sales, but without reason. It wasn't like we maxed out on search on the search campaign and then we put Performance Max in to supplement the search campaign. No, this was purely a case of preference. Purely preference. As I say, search had loads of budget surplus to spend. They had the same CPA target, but yet there were hundreds of leads in excess of the search campaign coming from Performance Max. So what do you think, guys? Am I wrong in saying that this is clearly a case of Google preferring Performance Max? Have you seen this before? I'm going to be honest, this is the first time I've seen it. Normally, as I say, cannibalization can occur, but for once, I hadn't seen cannibalization in this instance. But let me know in the comments what you think. Are you currently running PMax and search? Are you seeing incremental sales from Performance Max, or are you seeing a slowdown in your search campaign as the difference is split between the two campaigns? I reply to all comments on all of my videos, but I'm really intrigued to hear your thoughts on this one. It's very interesting to me, so it'll be interesting to get a few more viewpoints on it. But like this video if you like it, don't forget to subscribe and check out the other content on the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.